Hey everyone, welcome back to Firsthand Globetrotting. Today, I'm going to tell you about the most dangerous places I've ever visited. A topic like dangerous cities is completely subjective, and of course, it's going to entirely depend on the individual traveler. If you've traveled to active war zones, my list is probably going to seem pretty tame and safe. But if most of your travel is to the tourist areas in major European cities, then these may seem like some pretty unusual places to visit. I may be spoiling the surprise for everyone, but when I say dangerous, I mean places that most people think are dangerous, not ones that I actually found to be dangerous. The type of places that news stories say are dangerous, or that a travel agent would tell you to avoid, or that your friends might give you a weird look if you said you were going there. But all three of these places I visited felt completely safe and secure for me, and I had amazing experiences visiting all of them. There wasn't a single time in any of these cities that I felt unsafe, or that I was in danger, or that I was treated badly at all. Like anywhere you travel, you need to use some travel common sense and avoid putting yourself in any bad situations, but I didn't feel these three places were any different than most other countries I visit, or even the big cities in my country. One last thing, I went to these three countries over 10 years ago, so I don't have any videos from these trips, only pictures. I apologize if the quality isn't as good. Now, on to the three most dangerous cities I've ever visited. Coming in at number 3 is Acapulco, Mexico. Acapulco used to be the jewel of Mexican tourism, with beautiful beaches and endless nightlife and Hollywood celebrities coming to vacation there. But then other Mexican beach cities started to get popular, so Acapulco slowly started to lose some of its prestige, which meant less tourists visiting every year. Unfortunately, the decline of Acapulco got so bad that it ended up having one of the worst crime rates not only in Mexico, but the entire world. When I went, the popularity of the city was definitely on the decline, but it was about 5 years before things got really bad there. I really hope that things get safer in Acapulco and it can return to its former glory, since honestly, I have nothing but amazing memories of my time there. It was a beautiful beach city, it had a lively energy, the people were friendly, and I really have nothing but good things to say about my trip there. Coming in at number 2 is Sarajevo in Bosnia-Herzegovina. The first time I went was 9 years after the siege of Sarajevo and the Bosnian War, so it was long enough past the conflict that the city itself was really safe and welcoming. But the signs and damage of the war were still visible all over the city center. You could see damage to the buildings and sidewalks and monuments, and when I went for a walk on a hiking trail, there were warnings not to step off the path because of possible leftover landmines. But the city of Sarajevo was such an amazing place to visit, the people I met were incredibly nice, and I had a fantastic time. I liked it so much that I've been back to visit 6 times so far. It's by far the European city that I've visited the most. Personally, I found Sarajevo to be just as safe as any other European city that I've been to. Whenever people ask for a recommendation for an under-the-radar European city to visit, Sarajevo is usually at the top of my list. Coming in at number 1 is my trip to Freetown, Sierra Leone. I went to Freetown about 2 years after the official end of their civil war, so the country was still recovering from that terrible period in their history. The country's economy was still in very bad shape, and a lot of people had recently lost loved ones or their homes or their life savings, so it was a really difficult time for most of the people in Sierra Leone. But despite all that, I still found the people to be positive and friendly and kind, and it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience getting to visit their country. It's an oceanfront city with some beautiful nature nearby, and the country has some really interesting history. To this day, I don't think I've met more than 5 people who have been to Freetown, so it's still not a place that gets too many tourists. But I still have really great memories of my visit to Sierra Leone, and I'm really glad I was lucky enough to get to go. So that's it, the 3 most dangerous cities I've ever visited. These were all places that were either heading towards some bad points in their history or had just gotten through some terrible times, but I was lucky enough to get to see the friendliness and beauty and fun and excitement and culture that those places had to offer. I'm not someone who seeks out dangerous places. All of these trips were places I was lucky enough to have an opportunity to visit, and I jumped at the chance. But I'm really glad that I got to visit all 3 of them, since they gave me really unique experiences and let me visit cities that a lot of other travelers never think to visit. And as you can see, for me personally, even though these were places a lot of people consider dangerous, I didn't experience any of that. Given another chance, I'd definitely go back to all 3 of them again, especially since it's been so long since my last visits. I had great trips, great experiences, and great memories. If you have any questions about my trips, ask me in the comments. While you're at it, like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. On Instagram, I'm Firsthand Globetrotting. On Twitter, I'm Firsthand Globe. Follow me on there. And don't forget, it's an incredible world out there, so pick up your passport and do some firsthand globetrotting of your own.